Look at what Parliament's priorities have been so far during the winter session. I've calculated the amount of time that has been spent on each issue. Pollution, 0 minutes if you don't count what Rahul Gandhi said today. Vande Mataram, 10 hours in Parliament. SIR, electoral reforms, 12 hours have been spent in Parliament. Disruptions, about 40 hours and counting have been spent in Parliament. But like I said, pollution, 0. A big fat 0 hours have been spent on pollution. And here are the issues that are keeping our MPs busy. Whether it is the dog drama, whether it is the walkouts and the combative acrimony, whether it is Vande Mataram, whether it is a absolutely juvenile and silly and stupid fight over cigarettes being smoked inside Parliament or an MP smoking outside, protests and walkouts. This is what the winter session of Parliament has been so far, at a time when, according to the most respected medical journal in the world's assessment, 12,000 people are dying as a direct result of air pollution in India. This is not an issue to do tutu me over. This is not an issue for blame games and finger pointing. This is an issue where NDTV, me, myself personally, and all sensible people have been praying that all our Netas come together and look for a joint solution and put aside all other issues, put aside the acrimony, put aside political competitions, put aside one-upmanship. This is not an ideological issue. Like Rahul Gandhi absolutely rightly said, this is an issue that requires totally bipartisan support, cooperation, a conciliatory atmosphere, and a will to actually start changing something. But do we even believe that we have the tools, the mindset, and the political will to follow something like that? Joining me live, Advocate Somnath, Bharti, former cabinet minister in the Delhi government. He belongs to the Aam Aadmi Party that has ruled Delhi for over a decade. Vimlendu Jha is an environmentalist and founder of Swachh India. We'll be joined in a moment by the BJP. Vimlendu, I want to come to you first because not only do I know you have strong views about this, but we do know that you have connected with Rahul Gandhi recently on the issue of pollution. And I have to say, and you know, everyone is aware that I have strong political views this way or that way, but my sense is that Rahul Gandhi today struck a chord, not just in terms of the words he used, but in terms of the tone and tonality, where he was basically drawing a line in the sand, saying the time for tutu me is over. We can all sit here and spend the rest of our lives blaming each other, or we can say, let us stop, let us work together, and let us sort this out. Vimlendu.
Yes, absolutely, Shiv. In fact, the meeting that I had with Rahul Gandhi with regard to asking for a joint parliamentary session was last year. That video also was used this year again. So, in fact, in 2025, after a month and a half of breathing this toxic air this season, after all the drama of sprinkling of water and shutting down of air quality monitors, and the added drama that we've actually seen with regard to air pollution in the parliament, where they're saying that the global standards of air don't apply to Indian lungs, and also the ministers saying that no one in India dies or falls ill because of air pollution, and the environment minister of India in the same breath also saying that our air is better than what it was in last 8 years. When you, of course, shut down the air quality monitors, what will the average be? Of course, the numbers will be right in terms of your books, in terms of your record. But reality is that India, the entire country, is actually breathing toxic air. The fact that the Parliament of India has agreed to discuss this, because, Shiv, you also know, we discuss Delhi a lot. Disproportionate attention is granted to Delhi's air. Reality is that 90% of India's air is actually poor, very poor, or severe in that sense. So glad that Rahul Gandhi spoke about it. I'm so glad that the Parliamentary Affairs Minister actually conceded to this point and happily agreed to have a discussion. I think, as you've been maintaining it last couple of days, that there's nothing more important than this, than discussing something which affects everybody's life, of the elderly, of the children.
No, because, the easy thing to do, the easy thing to do, and I beg your pardon for coughing on air because I am also affected by it where I am. I'm in Delhi NCR as well. But Somnath, Bharti, the easy thing for any anchor or any show to do is to get all the politicians and, just trigger a blame game. Vimlendu has been part of many of those. But somehow today, Rahul Gandhi is a person that even the Aam Aadmi Party takes on very stridently. He's also considered your political rival. But the truth of the matter is, today he seems to have said something that everyone should take note of, Mr. Bharti, which is, let us stop blaming each other. Let us in some ways subliminally accept that we are all to blame in some way or the other. And let us cooperate and find a solution for our future people. Mr. Bharti, sensible comment by Rahul Gandhi?
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead. Did you hear my question, Mr. Bharti? Can you hear me, Mr. Bharti? What a pity. What a pity.
Shiv, I can't even see you.
Okay. Well, this is, I apologize for this technical malfunction on the show on a crucial topic, which is very, very annoying. But Vimlendu, I'll bring that back to you. Do you think our Netas have it in them to resist the temptation to continue with the blame game and actually cooperate? I personally have my misgivings and skepticism, even as far as the Congress is concerned personally, because the easy thing to do is to blame the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. But what Rahul Gandhi has said maybe should set the mood and set the tone.
Absolutely, Shiv, because reality is that when the discussion starts, there'll be disproportionate conversation with regard to stubble burning. Everyone talking about Punjab because that's a different government. Of course, there'll also be conversation with regard to other states and, other like Haryana, what Haryana is doing or Uttar Pradesh is doing. So I hope that this actually becomes a non-partisan, a bipartisan, multi-partisan, discussion, because the reality is that, and I've been maintaining that I think it's very important that the central government plays a big brother role. I think it's very, very important that the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, actually realizes and takes a lead in this, because, right now, when you look at the impact that this has, you were talking about 12,000 deaths. Lancet report says that 1.5 million, which is around 17 lakh people, die each year in India because of air pollution. We have had doctors come on your show and your channel and many other channels talk about that, how it's no more a pulmonological challenge alone. This also has, your brain cells to your lung capacity, to arthritis. So, and therefore, I think, a lot of conversation that I had with Rahul Gandhi and had asked for this last year was when Aam Aadmi Party was in power, and I maintained that irrespective of which party is in power, every party will have to make this their agenda number one. And rather than bickering and fighting, and hope the parliament session doesn't turn into that.
No, the time for bickering and fighting is over. Somnath, Bharti, do you agree with Rahul Gandhi? He has struck a conciliatory note and said, "Jo hua wo hua." We can sit here and blame each other endlessly like your party and the Congress and the BJP do, or we can work together and sort this out. Sensible words by Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Bharti.
No, Shiv, see, I have always been of the view that first we have to admit the problem.
Yeah.
And how do you admit the problem? See, you have to have the data. Lancet has come out with the data saying that 17 lakhs people die every year because of pollution.
Yeah.
But the government doesn't have the data. So if in absence of the data,
correct.
And that's what I have been seeing everywhere, whether it be, Corona's time, that how many people died because of lack of availability of oxygen, whether it be, if you look at the way they denied. In fact, Chief Minister of Delhi, I'm sorry to say, that she has no understanding of what is AQI, what is temperature. So the problem itself has to be crystallized in a workable mode.
No, I agree.
The government has to accept it.
On that specific point, Mr. Bharti, the specific point you raised, and I'll put that on our screen as well. It is actually ridiculous. The Lancet has said that 12,000, Nitin Tyagi, spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. Welcome. Nitin, Lancet claims that 15 lakh people in India die every year due to pollution. And in Parliament, your government says that there is nothing to prove that any of these deaths are because of air pollution. That is a ridiculous claim. All experts are saying that air pollution related deaths are quantifiable and visible.
I'm sure they must be quantifiable or visible, but I do understand there's a lot of discomfort due to pollution, and we have been facing it since a very long time, I think, and it has been increasing, and definitely. But how do you quantify it? Is there a science to it? I do not know, and I cannot talk about it because I'm not an expert in that. Lancet had said maybe they have some data to prove it. What deaths are occurring due to pollution? Are they asthma related, or are they heart related? Are they breathing disorder related? Are they due to some other disease?
I'll show you something, Nitin.
Pollution is.
I seek your patience. I will show you some. I'll just make you hear something very important. Dr. Randeep Singh Guleria was chosen by this government as the face of the action against COVID-19. Everyone remembers him. He's a celebrity doctor. He was on my show a few days ago where he addressed this precise point on how nobody is going to wake up because no deaths are ascribed to air pollution, and he believes that that is the biggest systemic failure in the government and the system right now. Just listen to what he says. Just listen to what he says. I'll come back to you, Nitin. Just listen to what he says.
So I think it's important that people decide and really understand the implication of what air pollution is causing. I think that understanding is not being there because, like I said, it's a silent killer. So if you have someone who dies because of COVID, or if you have someone who dies because of dengue, you have a test to show that this person died because of COVID or dengue. If you have someone who dies because of air pollution worsening his underlying condition, you're not able to show it. And unless you start writing on death certificates that this patient died because of air pollution causing this problem, it's not something that people will wake up to.
So Nitin, unless you heard Dr. Randeep Singh Guleria, who is the country's most respected pulmonologist, saying that unless you write air pollution as the cause of death on death certificates, the government can simply say, "Arey, how do we know this is air pollution related?"
See, I started my statement by saying that yes, pollution is a problem. I just said I don't know how to quantify it. Maybe there are more number of deaths than even Dr. Guleria has estimated. But let me come to a fact that yes, pollution is there and we all are supposed to fight against it together. Blame game, yes, you are right. Blame game is one thing which has been stopping us. Not only hindering, it is stopping us. Right? There are so many things that are being done in Delhi right now. People should come out and discuss how better we can make it.
Do you agree with Rahul Gandhi then, Nitin, when he says that we should all cooperate? Enough. He's the leader of the opposition. He says enough of fighting, enough of blame game. Let us work together.
Let me be very frank. I do not agree with Rahul Gandhi because of the mere fact that I do not trust that man. He doesn't know about anything. So let's not talk about Rahul Gandhi. But he's the leader of the opposition.
He says we want to cooperate.
He may be leader of opposition. I don't know what kind of leader he is. A person who goes out of this country and discredits the country, I do not take him seriously at all. I cannot do that. Fine. So let us talk about pollution over here. Let's not talk about Rahul Gandhi. If this debate is about Rahul Gandhi, let's talk about Rahul Gandhi. If it is about pollution, let's talk about pollution.
It is about pollution, but the reason I brought up Rahul Gandhi
let us talk about pollution. Let us talk about pollution.
But Nitin,
let us talk about solutions.
Let's put all our guests on it. But Nitin, the point is
where we have gone wrong, where we are lacking.
No. I have no wish to assign blame at all because I, as a citizen, also believe that everyone is equally to blame. I am merely saying that Rahul Gandhi is the first person in this parliament session to talk about pollution, sir. That is a very important aspect.
We have been, let me be very frank. Since last 10 years or last 11 years, every time the parliament session begins, the opposition goes, the ruling party goes, they go to the speaker's chamber, they discuss how the session is going to be handled. And every time the opposition is given a first chance to speak up. They speak up, and when the ruling party stands up to give the answer, they walk out. How do I take it seriously?
Okay.
No, I will not take it seriously.
So, Somnath, Bharti, there's a trust deficit. That is the most obvious thing. There is a trust deficit between the political parties. So this seems like a very a disproportionate sort of expectation that the Netas can come together, Mr. Bharti.
No, all Netas
see, when BJP was contesting Delhi election, They had promised Delhi that we'll have, double engine government. We'll have 4-engine government. Now they have got
Nitin, 1 second.
all
Let
the engines
Somnath
with
Bharti
them.
speak. I'll come back to you.
So the question is, first is they need to admit that there is a problem. I was just now with your another colleague, Ankit Tyagi, at the Mausam Bhavan. There the AQI indicator itself was not working. So when I questioned the officer, they say it's not required to work. You can look at your mobile phone. So what are they doing? Rather than handling it as a crisis, they're trying to eliminate the very indicators so that people don't even know that there is a crisis. So BJP has found out a new way of handling a crisis. That the very indicators which will hint people that there is a crisis, eliminate those indicators. Then what they were doing? They were spraying, they were using water sprinklers on the AQI monitoring stations to bring the data, to bring the figure down.
But
The question is,
Mr. Bharti,
the question is, I'm my colleague Nitin, who's in BJP now. I'm requesting him that he should tell BJP leaders in power that first of all, India must start, recording the cause of death. Every doctor at the postmortem must record cause of death. Unless you do that, the government will not have any data. Whether it was corona.
Nitin, is that something the government is willing to do? Is that something the government is willing to do? Start, if it's possible, find a way to start saying air pollution as the reason for death?
Because, see, the problem is that this Nitin's children, my children, your family, everybody stays in Delhi. So we all need to admit.
Let him answer.
Big problem.
Somnath Bharti, let Nitin answer that.
Definitely, there has to be a tangible way that we can quantify. But whether it is necessary or not, I do not know. All I need to know is that, yes, we are facing pollution and it is a huge problem. We all are supposed to stand together and solve it. It is actually very dangerous. This kind of pollution that we have been facing over the years is absolutely dangerous. We are sitting in Delhi and this is the capital of the country and we need to have better air. Our government is working tirelessly to get hold of this situation, to overcome the problems, to overcome the hurdles that have been created over the past number of years by the government.
If I may just interrupt you for a moment. If I may just interrupt you for a moment to say that some of these actions are not inspiring a lot of confidence in the public. When the government says in Parliament that there is no way of saying whether a death is due to air pollution, so that data is not available, or AQI can be measured in different ways and different standards applied to India. That does not inspire confidence, sir. It sounds like the government is trying to duck this issue rather than confront it head on.
See, government is not trying to duck anything. They are trying to find the solutions. We are working tirelessly. You can see it in Delhi. You go to any of the roads, you will find a sprinkler over there. You will find our efforts in increasing the green cover of Delhi. You will find our efforts in the vehicle policy of Delhi, where we are trying to discourage the polluting vehicles, where we are trying to increase the electric vehicles. There's so many things that the government is trying to do. We are going for solar energy and reducing the thermal imprints.
Yeah.
And we are doing a lot of things.
I have to say there are steps being taken for sure. It has to be acknowledged that steps are being taken, but this has to be treated like an emergency, sir. That is the point. It can't be business as usual. I want to just show you. Let me show you a report that one of my colleagues went out and filed today on precisely this, on the measurement of pollution, which has become this bone of contention right now, both inside and outside Parliament. Just take a look at this report.
Leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi raising the issue that impacts citizens, India's worsening air pollution.
I think it's important that the government develops a plan for how to get rid of air pollution in our cities. We are more than happy to cooperate with the government on developing such a plan?
For years, civil society, MPs and experts have protested against toxic air. But India's core air quality standards remain frozen in time, unchanged since 2009. The government rejects foreign rankings like IQ Air and the Global Climate Risk Index, saying they have no official standing for domestic policy. Instead, it leans on homegrown assessments like the Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan to track progress. No official global countrywide air pollution rankings exist.
The government is technically correct when it says that WHO guidelines are not legally binding. But here's the problem. India's own air quality standards were drafted back in 2009. And scientists say that they are outdated and far weaker than the modern health guidelines.
While the WHO has tightened its safety thresholds, India's numbers have barely moved. Our limit is 8 times higher than the WHO's, and even these relaxed standards are routinely exceeded.
Already completed and we have submitted or reported also, but yet to publish it, so that is we are waiting. But it is high time that we need to review it.
Malaya Shitalam, that means our air should be clean, but we are failing to do that one. So in Bande Mataram also this part is there.
I can't even remember the umpteen number of years we've stood outside as far as we can be near the parliament and begging that there is not even one word of air pollution that's said.
The government highlights improvements: fewer stubble burning incidents, more moderate AQI days, and its own city-wise clean air rankings.
इस वर्ष जनवरी नवंबर की अवधि में दिल्ली का औसत AQI जो 2018 में 213 था वो कम होकर के 187 हुआ है। 2025 के दौरान दिल्ली में एक भी दिन AQI 450 नहीं हुआ है। हम उसको कंट्रोल रखने में सक्षम हुए हैं।
But the national urban average remains far above safe limits, among the worst in the world. An NDTV Bureau report.
I'll get final comments from my guest tonight. Vimlendu, do you believe that our political establishment has the will, the majority, the sort of bipartisan spirit to handle this head on? Because ultimately data and things like that, those are important, but ultimately it's going to be about being able to reach over the aisle and say, let's make this place better for our children and grandchildren.
Absolutely, Shiv. So there's no other option but to work together on this. I do not think that it is BJP versus Congress versus Aam Aadmi Party. Yeah. It is basically a child. We are not 450. Are we even joking? As in, will we be happier if it's 450 or lesser than 450? We talk about severe. Countries like Thailand actually shut down at 200, which is a national, what the minister is saying, is our national average, or for Delhi or whatever. Annual average is 187, and we're proudly stating that that's called improvement. Therefore, we haven't done enough. It's an opportunity. Too late. But the fact that there is no bickering and there should not be any more bickering, I'm very, very hopeful. There's no other option that we actually have. But
I am skeptical, I am glad to see that you are hopeful. So, Somnath, Bharti, at some point, it is time to draw the line and say, let's put the past aside and work towards what comes next. Are you hopeful like Vimlendu?
We have to be hopeful. I mean, but see, we can't stop hiding behind technicalities. The world's top medical journal Lancet, if they are warning us that India has a public health crisis of national security proportion, then the government must treat as an emergency.
Yeah,
that's the first thing. And second thing, when the government says no data, so government has this habit. The BJP government has this habit of no data. They had no data on oxygen deaths. They had no data on migrant workers who died working home. They had no data on healthcare workers who died. They had no data on how many children lost parents, etc., etc. No data on job losses. No data on farmer deaths at the protest sites. So what I'm saying, this no data thing, the government can't, hide behind. The government has to be serious about it. And let me promise through you, BJP government, that Aam Aadmi Party is willing to walk any length to get this fixed for Delhi, for India, and Punjab. We must tell
No, that's a good line.
Punjab has brought it down to 95%.
I think sentiment
Is gone.
on a day like this, the sentiment is important. I know politicians don't trust each other a lot, sir. I see a lot of smirks and giggles, but the point is, sentiment means something. Ultimately, sir, what do we have in our hands except hope that something will change in the future? Nitin Tyagi ji, last word to you. Are you also hopeful? Are you willing to go the distance as well?
I am not only hopeful, I am extremely confident that this government is working towards making this India great again. And it is just last few years that pollution has been taken up very seriously. Since BJP government has come into center, pollution has been treated as a big issue. And there have been debates very regularly about it, and people have been working on it. Even in Delhi, we are doing it. And we are not making a 50,000 rupees goal in Pusa and advertising 30 crores for it. We are actually working on ground for it, and we would be working. So let us all sit together, find a solution. A lot of things have been done by Aam Aadmi Party. Maybe some things have been right. Send us your all the ideas, and we are going to talk about it. You put Nitin Tyagi in front of Somnath Bharti. Somehow Somnath Bhaiya is senior to me, but still, जो है उनके नाम के आगे नितिन त्यागी थोड़ा अजीब लग रहा है. Anyways, so coming back to this, we are going to work together. I'm hopeful that the opposition also becomes a bit more responsible, and let's work together.
I think that's a good note to end this on, and I'm sure all three of you will agree with me. You know, I know words don't count for much in these polarized times that we live in. Actions are what really count. So I'm hoping against hope that these words translate into action. It's nice to see everyone expressing hope. It's nice to be sentimental. We are emotional people, even with all our rivalries. But the point is, this is about our future generations. This is about our children. This is about our health, even in this lifetime. All three of us have coughs, I'm sure. All four of us have coughs and lung ailments right now. It's time to draw a line and say enough is enough. Let us work together and do this. And mind you, I do believe very strongly that the media has an indispensable role in all of this. So I personally guarantee you that I will be your partner in this. Thank you very much, Somnath Bharti, Vimlendu Jha and Nitin Tyagi for being with me on India Matters tonight. Thank you so much.